Greetings everyone, this is a video about how I got my book Raid Slow into the top 2000 on the Amazon US store. This is mainly for newer authors and authors trying to find their way in the world of indie publishing. So if you're an experienced author who's had bestsellers and stuff, you're not really going to learn anything here, so you may as well stop watching. Let's quickly show my book. This is Raid Slayer, a lit RPG fantasy adventure. It's only got one customer review so far because it's a brand new book and it's just come out three and a bit days ago. So at current it's $1,708 in the US store, and I've really only spent maybe $75 US or something in promotions. I'll go into that later. It's number 3 in role playing and fantasy, number 4 in this other category, humorous, and number 10 in books humorous. So it's doing pretty well overall. Now, the first important thing I'd say for writing a good selling book is to write to a market. But write to a market you actually enjoy. Don't be one of those sort of scammy authors that write, like, find a hot genre and then write to it even though they hate every minute of it. Respect the readers and write to a genre you like. I actually like lit RPG, and I like sort of harem stuff because being a guy, of course, sort of being a gamer as well, sort of the male power fantasy type thing. And lit RPG harems, both that. It's sort of a role-playing game. You know, you've got your strong warrior type who gets stronger throughout the book, and you've got your harem of beautiful women around him sort of thing, sort of hanging off him. But yeah, write in a hot genre and make sure you write a good book. Make it your own book. Don't just hit all the tropes because that's going to be boring to the reader. Definitely hit the tropes and do what they expect, but also do your own unique spin on it, like I did for my book. I don't have too much feedback, obviously, yet. It's only got one review, but my beta reader said it was good, and the one review said it's awesome, sort of thing. So, yeah. Basically, choose a hot genre, write a good book, make sure you enjoy it, writing it, and that it's a genre you actually like, and put your own unique spin on it. The second important thing is getting a good cover that's genre specific for your book. So this is the Raid Slayer cover. It sort of sells harem because it's got the 2 women on it. It sells sort of lit RPG, other than the fact it says lit RPG on the cover. It's sort of got that actiony sort of, I don't know, like cutting edge sort of feel. It looks a bit video gamey, like the dude with the sword type thing or whatever. And yeah, definitely make one that fits the genre. I mean, my cover isn't perfect. In all honesty, this cover cost me $16. It's because I chose a cheap cover artist, but I gave her precise details on what I wanted. I even mocked up the cover myself so she knew what she was making, and I said just put effects over it and obviously choose. I gave her all the examples of the fonts I liked, and then she chose one that looked awesome. And I gave her the links to all the stock art that I wanted for the cover, and all she did was basically put the effects over my mock-up to make this. So yeah, I think it looks like an awesome cover and it looks awesome in thumbnail, and that's important. You want to attract readers, like either from your AMS ad or they just see your cover somewhere and they stop and look, and then they look at your blurb, which is the next important part. Now, when I wrote my blurb, and I'm not saying my blurb is 100% perfect, I read about 12 blurbs from hot-selling books in the genre to get a feel for them, and I analysed them. And basically, I came up with lit RPG and harem. This isn't obviously going to be for all genres. The first sort of sentence or two is about the loser main character, usually a man in this case, how he's a loser in real life, or he's down on his luck, or something, you know, bad has happened to him or whatever. And then he's transported to the game world, which is the next sentence. And then the next part goes into the mechanics of the game world. Again, this is sort of lit RPG, harem type stuff. But, you know, if it was another genre, you'd write, I guess, a different thing. You'd have to find out whatever's specific for your genre, what the readers find important. For lit RPG, it's sort of the game world stuff, a bit about the mechanics. As I can't use the keyword harem in the blurb or in the title, I had to remove the word harem from the blurb to be able to run AMS because Amazon no longer allows it. So instead of the word harem, I used experimental upgradable companion system of hot women, which sort of sells that it's harem. So I mentioned the beautiful women and that basically the guy's in control of them because it's a game world and a harem. And yeah, I mentioned the action and adventure type stuff, and that there's a customizable player house, blah, blah, blah. Now, the next sentence is a bit where there's sort of the added complication, which again is pretty important in blurbs as well. And, you know, the final what's going to happen type thing if everything goes to the bad guy's plan. And then, yeah, that there's a group obviously adding a bit of mystery that they're watching Zach. You bring it back around to the main character to show that it's important, and that, you know, it leaves a bit of mystery in that someone's watching him and he might become part of something bigger. Now, for this sort of harem sort of genre, and a lot of comedy action-y books lately have been adding this warning comedy thing at the end. Like, it's got a few characters and stuff, funny things in the book that I've mentioned, and again, that's important. A lot of readers will just often read that. I know I do, just to see what sort of funny stuff the author comes up with. So yeah, just add a bit of comedy at the end. But again, that's sort of genre specific. Just know what your genre wants that you're writing for, basically. And my book is recommended for 18 plus readers, so I have that at the end. But if you're not writing something that's sort of graphic like my book, then yeah, don't bother with the age rating thing at the end.